How's it going, guys? I'm Theo Joe, and today we're going to be unboxing this bad boy, the new iPhone 8 Plus. So this is actually the first iPhone I've had in probably about 4 years. I used to use iPhone for a while, and then I switched to Android, and now I figured, you know what? This seems like a good enough phone where I'll be willing to switch it out and try this for a while. So we're gonna go do an unboxing, and then I'll try it out for a little while and give you guys some first impressions, and then I'll do a full review maybe next week or so you guys can get the bigger picture. So why don't we head over to the table right now and quickly unbox this thing and see what's inside. Okay, so we can start off talking about the box. It's very simple, not much to say. Just says iPhone, also has the Apple logo on the top. But one thing I do like and think is pretty neat is this image is actually embossed, so it's a little bit raised. You obviously can't touch it yourself from over on the other side of the camera, but it's nice. I don't know if they did that on previous phones. I like that. So we can open this up and get to the the good part. And so we start off, it says designed by Apple in California, as usual. And there it is, the iPhone 8 Plus. And let's see if there's anything exciting in here. Just some stickers, some little instruction manuals, warranty, I guess, a SIM card tool. Says a ring silent switch, basically just telling you what the buttons on the side do. It also mentions wireless charging and a lightning connector. So let's take this out of the box. And this is the first time I've held it in my hand. It's not too big. Right now I have the Pixel phone. I can show you the comparison. So it's a bit fingerprint covered, but I was a little bit worried. This one is bigger. The iPhone is a little tiny bit bigger, but only by a couple millimeters. So just feeling it, it doesn't feel that much bigger than the Pixel. I don't think I'll have trouble adjusting to it, although it does, for some reason, it does feel bigger, obviously, because it is. Although I will say that this is a little bit sturdier feeling. So I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe it's the metal on the side, whereas this, I have a case on it. I don't know. We can talk about that another time. But let's get back to the iPhone. On the back, obviously, you have those dual cameras, the flash, and the plastic, which we are going to remove right now. It's probably the best part of any unboxing, right? Oh, and we get to go back onto the front too and do it again. You only get to do that once, and now I'm gonna ruin it with fingerprints again. But, so on the back, this has a very nice shiny logo. And so mirror, I already got a fingerprint on it. We got the solid state home button. I'm sure you guys know about that. That's not new this year. And of course, lightning. Yeah, there's not much else to say about the phone on the outside. So why don't we just boot this up, and then I can give you guys my first impressions based on actually using it for a few minutes. All right, so it's actually the next day. I wanted a little bit more time to really get accustomed to this before I said anything about it. So the first thing I noticed is that when I had to transfer everything, I used the Move to iOS app that Apple made for Android, and it was surprisingly easy. It basically transferred all my contacts, all my photos, and it even went and saw what apps I had installed on my Android phone, and then went and downloaded any corresponding apps on the App Store, which was really neat. So it missed a few, but for the most part, most of the apps that I had on my Android phone were now on this iPhone, and I didn't really have to do anything else. Of course, it did take a little while for me to change all the settings and get it how I like it, but I'm not gonna fault it for that because, like I said, I haven't used iOS in a while, so I might not be that quick to figure out everything. But anyway, let's get to those first impressions. So the first thing you'll notice, obviously, is the screen, and it does look really good. I was worried because it's only a 1080p panel, and I kind of criticized the previous Google Pixel phones for not having that high resolution, but I think I was a little bit misguided because I can't really tell that much of a difference between the sharpness. It's still a Retina display. Even looking up really close, you can't tell the individual pixels. So even though it is about 400 pixels per inch, I think that is probably more than enough. Also with the screen, you'll notice that this is a IPS panel like usual, not OLED like the iPhone X. And that does mean that it's able to get a little bit brighter. I noticed when comparing it to my Pixel phone, this does get a little bit brighter than that, which is OLED, and also it has the True Tone display, which seems to be able to adjust the screen color temperature and color balance based on the environment. And I will say that I think it does have a significantly more accurate, or at least better white balance than the Pixel phone that I've been using. Although I noticed that the Pixel phone right from the beginning when I first got it didn't exactly have super accurate colors, even when comparing it to the LG G5 or something like that. So at least I know that this does have really good colors in terms of accuracy, as well as brightness, contrast. You know, even the black levels looked pretty darn good, almost the same as the Pixel, which does have OLED. So I'm really happy with the screen. Next, let's talk about using the phone. So in the day that I've had this, had no stuttering. I would expect that with iOS. It's the new iOS 11. Obviously, it's a brand new phone. They say it's about 50% faster than the previous generation, and that seems to stack up. Obviously, I can't really compare it to the previous generations, but it seems to be on par with the Pixel, where it doesn't stutter basically ever. The Pixel, I've never had any problems with it, especially when I first got it, and that seems to be fine still, and that seems to be the case with this iPhone. I highly doubt that I'll have any issues going forward. Also, let me quickly cover the back, which is glass, and it is a little bit slippery. Not slippery, but smooth enough where I'm a bit cautious when holding it. I don't want to have it, you know, fall out of my hand, maybe when I'm trying to take it out of my pocket or something like that. And the advantage though of the glass back is it allows wireless charging, which I'll get to in a bit. So with the feeling of this, even though it does feel very sturdy, I'm kind of cautious and I'm getting a case for this. I think everyone should have a case for their phone. Of course, it might mess with the look a little bit, but I went for one that is basically just a very thin, clear case, so it doesn't mess with that too much. Another quick thing that I really want to mention is the home button. So I don't know if you guys have used iPhones in the past that have this solid state home button. I'm sure many of you have, and you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, so this home button is not a real button. It's a solid state, solid piece that doesn't click in, but it has haptic feedback. And I will say, when you press in on this thing, it feels like you're genuinely pressing a button. I was really surprised with how well they implemented this haptic feedback virtual button. And one of the benefits of not having a moving button, obviously, is it's not going to break. So if you tap it a bunch of times, you don't have to take it into the Apple Store because it stops working. There's nothing to really break. And also, I don't know, you can actually customize the amount of haptic feedback and clickiness, which is pretty cool because it is virtual. So if you guys never experienced this, if you're wondering, well, does that really work? I will say it actually is pretty awesome. It does genuinely feel like you're clicking something in. I had to kind of double check the first time I used it. Like, what, am I pressing in the whole bottom? I don't know, but no, you're not. Finally, battery. So in the past day, I've found the battery life to be pretty good. Hasn't really dropped that much. I haven't used it with super intensive programs like gaming or benchmarks or anything like that, so maybe that would be a different story. Of course, I would always love a bigger battery in any smartphone. I kind of wish they put it in because I can tell while it is very good, it's not quite as good as what I'm used to with the Pixel. Although, of course, I do love the wireless charging that I mentioned. Now I can just put it on my nightstand on a wireless charging block. I don't have to fumble for the cable. You know, maybe I'll get one from my desk, so just plop it down. So much easier. Very happy with the wireless charging, even after just using it for a day. So those are just my first impressions for using it for about a day. Of course, some other stuff might come up. I'm gonna look more deeper into the settings, cool stuff I don't like, differences between Android and the iPhone, all that. I'm gonna try and do a review by next week, 2 weeks at the latest. Of course, I try to get stuff out sooner than later. So hopefully you guys found this pretty interesting. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions that you want me to address in the full review, of course, let me know down there as well. If you want to keep watching, I'll put some other videos right here. You can just click on those. And if you want to subscribe, I make a few new videos a week, so it should be worth it. And also consider enabling notifications by clicking the bell next to the subscribe button, or else you might not see the new videos in the first place. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So have a good one.